Oh, it's cold outside this morning. What is the story? Today I'm going to take you through a full day of eating to optimize the bulk. How to do flexible dieting properly. I think everyone should have the ability to be able to do flexible dieting, Iifym, not have to live their full life on a meal plan or feel like they have to live their full life on a meal plan. I also think a lot of people don't know how to properly do flexible dieting and use Iifym, if it fits your macros, as an easy way out and an easy way to eat their food and an easy way to track their calories. But today I'm going to show you exactly how I think it should be done, how it should be done properly to get the most out of your nutrition and to get the most out of the phase that you're in at the moment, whether that be a bulk, whether that be a cut. I am deep into a bulk at the moment. I'm coming near the end of it, but you will see today how my diet is optimal for building muscle at the moment. We're about to crack into meal one, but before we do that, let me show you what goes in first thing every single morning to kickstart my digestion, to get me well hydrated, and to get me moving, to be completely honest with you. Alongside and before any coffee goes in, I know we always obviously go for the coffee first thing in the morning before any water, before anything. My oats are about to pop. Look at that. I wasn't about to fuck up my oats. Before we go for the coffee, before we go for that energy drink, tea, whatever it might be, please, please, please get yourself hydrated. You're going to feel a lot better and you're going to get yourself off to a much better start every single morning. So the first things that go in a cup, like you saw this morning, not the nicest. I'm never going to tell you that something's nice when it's not, but it's not that bad. It's more so just the consistency of this bad boy, glutamine. So in the mornings, I'm going first thing with, we're going in with an electrolyte supplement. So 1 scoop of that every single morning. Glutamine powder, okay? This is really has gotten, digestion moving a lot better for me and for gut health as a whole. Lastly then, because it's the only time I really remember to do it. I could do it other times in a day, but I probably forget it. It's right there with everything else, is my creatine. So again, any creatine powder, creatine monohydrate is what you want to get when you are buying creatine. Again, very cheap. Again, just a big heaped scoop of this every single morning. There's people that say 5 grams. There's people that say a gram per 10 kilos of body weight. Again, if you're sticking at 5 grams, stick with that. If you're at 1 gram per 10 kilos of body weight, stick with that. Whatever works for you. Let's get on to meal one. That's everything that I put in my body alongside a black coffee, and then following up with a cup of tea like you would have seen in the full day of eating last week. Everything that I buy in the shop, go back, watch my last video, running through basically everything that is in my fridge, that is in the house that I'm eating on a daily basis. We are currently, as you saw this morning, just 90 kilo. I just hit 90 kilo. I wasn't expecting to hit 90 kilo this quick, to be completely honest with you. Weight has kind of been spiking up a little bit quicker than we thought. Again, not complaining too much, but over the last year, like body weight really, compared to the last big push-up that I did, like early last year, late 2022, I was chasing body weights, I was chasing scale weights, and all that's doing is, like setting you up for fail. Setting you up to fail, because you're just going to get fat from chasing like big scale weights, like 100 kilo or whatever it might be. These are all the things that we're doing, again, better this time, properly this time, more optimally as a whole, as I said to you at the start of the video. So the macros, the current rundown of them are, on a training day, which is today, I've got my density session, my posterior session with that stiff leg deadlift, are 220 grams of protein, 500 grams of carbohydrates, and 50 grams of fat. So it works out in and around, I think, 3,400 to 3,500 calories pretty much. The calories for different foods, sometimes if I am changing sources, can be, slightly different, maybe not exactly what they are. They don't give you the exact same macros as calories, etc., etc. So calorie-wise, I'm not too bothered once I'm hitting my macros to a T on a daily basis. That's all I'm looking for here. Meal one, what we have got here is, again, it differs on some days depending on time I'm training, etc., etc. So sometimes it's a bigger meal one, sometimes I'm 2 meals before I train. Today we're going to be having 1 meal pretty much, more than likely, before I train. Now, subject to change, but that is the plan I have ahead. Some things can change. We have got 100 grams of oats, 250 250 grams of just frozen raspberries and blueberries today, a mix. We have 40 grams of Perform Whey made into a sludge on top. We've got salt, cinnamon. I am about 3 grams of salt on top of this meal because it is my pre-workout meal as well. Other meals will typically be around 2 grams of salt on top of the meals. With that, I'm also onto my 3rd litre of water for today. Sometimes that'll be a little bit more, sometimes that'll be a little bit less. But it is currently, as you'll see by the clock, 5 to 11 in the morning. So I have been up 4.5 hours. So 4.5 hours ago was when I put in like that first little bit of fluid alongside the hydration supplements that I have there as well. And now we are getting our first meal in. So that is meal 1 wrapped up. As you see, I have 0 issues with finishing food. That will go down, and ideally I will be training if I can finish that, you know, bit of work that needs to get done before I go. Ideally I would be training around 12 o'clock, so in an hour's time. If it's a little bit more than that, that's absolutely fine as well. Just in my head, I like to just know, right, food is in, food is ready to go now, train. The last thing before I go to the gym, I have just put out an ebook. Okay, I will put the link in the description for you to download that. It's absolutely free. Going through everything that I did this year to get myself from the position I was in back out of that rut and get myself back on track, and everything that I think that you should be doing that will make it the last time you need to get out of a rut that you might be stuck in. With that as well, let me know how you get on with the download. Let me know how you get on going through it. If you need the video, the training video that I made to go along with it, do let me know also, because I think that will be of massive help for you to fully understand the ebook and make use of everything that I did put inside there. So click the link below in the first box of the description to get that ebook. I haven't deadlifted in 3 weeks. We're going to put in a super pre-workout as we get closer to the gym. On the way to the gym, we're going to put in the Ultra Paradise as normal. It's just the pre-workout ritual, the pre-workout routine. It starts off this video with a full day of eating optimally. Now all he's talking about is pre-workouts and getting off his nut with caffeine. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You have to find the healthy balance. I also got a suction cup mount for the DJI Osmo, so that must go on as well. I just haven't been able to actually get it on and for it to stay, but that'll be handy for my van and my car talks on the way to different places. But we're going to give you a little taste test. This is definitely in my top 5, I would reckon, old reliable Ultra Paradise. Who remembers the factory days? 10:30 in the morning, on my first break, been up since 4:30 that morning, putting in a shift. Who remembers that first sup on the YouTube videos of usually a green or an ultra red in the mornings at 10:30 on my first break? That sup of Monster, that deep into that prep, like there was a tear shedding every single time that I had that first sip of Monster. It's really, really foggy outside today, so I need to be careful on the road. I'm going to crack on, get into the gym. It's deadlift day. Pre-workout is going in. I don't want it to kick in too quick, you know. It's the tub with no scooper inside it, lads. So we're going to wash it down with the Monster. What's good? What's happening? Post pulling legs. That one fucked me up the most. A session has fucked me up in a long time. But we'll get back to it in a few minutes again. We're going to get some fuel into us, start recovering. I don't think, I was just thinking of it there, I don't think we're going to get to a point in this bulk where I'm going to be having cereal. I have not had cereal in a very, very long time. We're just having another bowl of oats post-workout. We've got oats, and we also have, as you can see, a couple of corn cakes with 10 grams of carbs worth of jam on them. I just like them on top as well. Like 25 gram of carb worth of corn cake, 10 gram of carb worth of jam, the low sugar jam like you see in all the videos, and then we have 85 gram of oats, 40 Perform again, and I'm going to give you a taste test on this. I've had it like probably 5 times now. I haven't had it a huge amount. Like, I'm still really loyal to the caramel biscuit. I did, as you know, really want the cereal milk this month, but we'll wait until next month for that. At the moment, I'm going between, in my evening meal, that's sweet and salty popcorn, really, really growing on me. The house smells like popcorn after I make that. Caramel biscuit, and then a little bit of this. That's pretty much all the way I'm gonna be using at the moment. But that session is absolutely, like, Keane must have been angry making that session. And especially with just the new volume that's been added into it. A leg extension has been added in. It's a 6-6 session. Anyway, we're going to give you a taste test of the Perform cookie dough. Again, like, I haven't had it in a couple of days, so that's pretty new to me again. It's good, man. It is. Right now, it's not like Ben & Jerry's, even though I haven't had a Ben & Jerry's in a long time. And I honestly haven't. Like, we're at that point, you know, food is at 500 gram of carb, probably not going to go that much further, you know, especially when I move back down into a cruise and getting healthy before prep. Food probably isn't going to need to be moving that much higher, I don't think. Like, as I said, weight has moved up. Like, we hit 90 kilo there this morning, and I'm not like overly impressed by hitting 90 kilo or anything, like, because weight really does not mean anything to me. It's all about the look. Now, yesterday's session I did feel fucking huge. I won't lie, I felt huge. Today I felt really good as well. I haven't posed in the changing room since like the week before last, so it will be interesting to see. I did try and pose there today, but I just didn't because there was a couple of lads in there, and I just don't pose if there's people in there. But it will be interesting to see kind of what the look is like, you know, how much softer it might be. It's hard to know, you know, it is hard to know. Like, as I said to you in the last video, I get anxious around that Monday morning check-in now on a Sunday night. Even though I know, like, I'm not, you know, doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing every single week. Yeah, I have an off-plan meal there every single weekend, whatever day it might be, but everything else, like, I literally have not missed. I will tell you that much. I have not missed across the board. Training, obviously, frequency there the last couple of weeks has been small, a little bit lower because of just how messed up I was, like, absolutely battered. But, like, with today's session, yesterday's session, we're back on an absolute roll. So the look should be in a good spot from that. But, like, 86, between 86 and 87 kilo was, like, my best, hardest look. So, like, being at 90 kilo now, like, 3.5 kilo heavier, you know, it could be quite a bit softer in that mirror. Because it was probably around, like, the 87s. You know, like, weight has jumped up quite a bit. It was probably around the 87s when I last posed in that mirror, even though it wasn't that long ago, you know. I'm doing 12 grinds soft pretty much on every meal. Again, you want to obviously rehydrate post-session. I'm trialing at the moment electrolytes post-workout as well to see if it kind of brings me out of that slump. So I'll put them in again after my post-workout meal and see if it brings me back to life. Because, you know, you don't, when it gets late on in the day, you don't want to be putting in another can of Monster. You know, you don't want to be putting in another coffee, really. I don't really have much effort asked, you know, to have a coffee post-workout or to have a coffee in the evening time. I would be more inclined to, you know, go for a can of Monster or something like that, which it's not the best thing to be doing, you know, when you're trying to keep the heart rate low and recover post-workout and, you know, focus on getting a good night's sleep, you know. So I'm trialing electrolytes at the moment. Again, all these things are just trial and error to see what works best for you, what's the most optimal for you. What I'm doing mightn't be the best thing for you. What he's doing mightn't be the best thing for me. In the fucking... that light, if you turn it on and off too quick, it changes colour. We've been in the zone for the last couple of hours. As you'll see, it's pitch black outside. That's how dark it gets and how quick it gets dark. I'm not going for a meal yet because I'm just in the zone getting stuff done. It is 5 o'clock. Meal 3 is about to go in, but we're going to get a little drink in while we finish off a little bit more work. I'm really liking the orange at the moment. The orange just slaps at the moment. For dinner then, I usually have like a Coke Zero. And I didn't have my post-workout drink today either, so I'll probably have just one with dinner then as well. Usually only 2 of these most days. In prep, I'll probably be doing like 12 a day. Did you send me ones at like 3 o'clock yesterday morning as well?
Yeah.
Meal 3 is going in. This is like a new one now as well. This is peak. Fuck you. It's a bit of a new one. It's a bit of a weird one, you could say. 150 gram of chicken. I'm not really a chicken man. Like, I go through the phases of it, but there's a lot of chicken to be used in the fridge that I got this week, so I'm gonna start using it. So we are doing, yeah, 150 gram raw weight chicken, 100 gram dry weight rice, peas in there as well. And then we've got 2 fried eggs for the fat source on the side. Fats starting to go in now, meal 3. Also, touch up on the carbs. We're doing 3 slices, which is 120 grams of pineapple slices, and 3 more corn cakes. So I'll just like eat the corn cakes and the pineapple with that meal itself. And then we'll be on then to meal 4, meal 5. So we're going to do 5 meals today, total training day. This one here is probably my favourite meal. Well, maybe the next one will probably be the favourite, because chicken is not my favourite meat, do you know? The sauce, the only sauce I'm really doing across the board is ketchup. Like in last and before, I would have been using like, you know, like taco sauce and shit like that. That just was the reason that I got fat and got fat quick. So I'm just sticking with this, because then when we transition into prep, it'll be the exact same. I'll never weigh my sauces or anything like that. Again, corn cakes go with anything. I'm having corn cakes here, like, you know, doing a bit of scooping with the rice and the peas and the chicken and the egg. And then pineapple I mix in also. Pineapple, again, goes with anything. The main reason I'm having pineapple with most meals as well is for digestion. Pineapple, and not necessarily digestion, but pineapple really helps with the breakdown of protein, which is going to help obviously with digestion. Protein is the slowest macro to break down, we'll say. Obviously fat is going to be slow for digestion, but protein is going to be very slow to break down. So like, protein is the macronutrient that you can get the least fat off. Like, it's very hard to gain fat from overeating on protein, if you know what I mean. It's very hard to convert protein into body fat. Getting a few little more bits done, and we'll be just cracking on with a couple more meals now again soon. Again, you've seen there throughout the day what the kind of setup is with the food, you know, and my principles, you could say, with the food as well. We have fruit in every meal across the day. Okay, we have enough carbohydrates there, and if you're anywhere near the amount of carbohydrates that I'm on at 500 grams, you have more than enough carbohydrates to be allocating carbohydrates towards fruit in every single meal. Okay, now again, you can eat excess fruit, but who is ever going to eat excess fruit? Do you know what I mean? It's nice as fuck. Okay, having fruit in your diet is going to help with like any sweet cravings or anything like that. And then alongside, obviously, the fruit, the veg. Any meat meal or any meal that's not like kind of, you know, a sweet meal, you will see veg in that meal. I'll never miss with the veg. And again, when we're swapping between phases and everything, it's just making that transition a lot easier. Like, there's literally no difference when I start that first week of prep. Yeah, we're going to spend those couple of weeks of prep, you know, starting to get my head in prep mode, because I do definitely think that you need to be in gear for prep. That's why, as myself and Keem were speaking about recently, you can't just suddenly decide, you know, I've been fucking around here for the last 6 months, I'm going to just prep, I'm going to jump into a prep. I've done it before myself. It's just wasting your time, and I think it's a massive thing as well, like a massive thing that's not spoken about with a lot of people as well, and you see it a lot in the industry. They do fantastic in these preps, in these certain phases, and it's often the transition out of a prep and out of certain phases and that middle ground where things go downhill, and all of a sudden you see them jumping back into a prep again. And I've done that once myself. I've definitely done that once myself to try and fix the fuck ups that I have made in that post prep phase. instead of actually spending that little bit of time to actually get myself right, get my relationship with food right, to stop that from happening again. Now obviously it hasn't happened again, but you know what I mean. I think that's something that when you do have an episode like that, or a phase like that, where you do really get yourself into a hole, is where, okay, you need to fix that there and then, right, and really get out of that, so you're never ending yourself back up there. And I think that's, you know, one reason why people sometimes obviously, you know, come out of the sport that we call bodybuilding and detest it as such, because they just have a bad experience with it, when they could have fixed that, you know, and they could have put themselves in a much better position, obviously moving forward in life, really, across the board. Jesus, that density there really messes my head, man. It really mashes up my head. But that's, as I was saying, you know, the transition into prep, we'll have those couple of weeks there where I'm getting my head right, knowing that prep is starting. You know, there's obviously going to be no flexibility there at all. There's going to be no off-plan eating at all. It's just going to be prep on the daily, you know, obviously alongside everything that I'm doing work-wise. But prep will be that, you know, that prep mindset, which is just unreal. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, obviously it's going to come around quick, and I'm trying to enjoy the time that I have right now, but I'm looking forward to that prep as well. But I know we still have a little bit of work to do before that. So that's why we are doing exactly what we're doing at the moment, you know. And as I said, that transition into the prep will just be, you know, seamless, because the food will be the exact same setup. There won't be any having to get back on fucking eating veg, having to get back to eating fruit, having to get back to, you know, cutting out all this bollocks that doesn't need to be eaten, and is just putting on unnecessary body fat, you know, that I'm not tracking, and I'm looking at and thinking, how am I getting this extra body fat on when I'm tracking my food and all that? Because you can be tracking your food, but not tracking certain things that are adding the body fat on every single week. Do you know what I mean? And again, the more you do that, and the deeper you do that into your gaining phase or off season, the harder it is you're making it on yourself for prep. Like, as myself and Keen said, if we can hover around this 90 kilo mark, maybe 92, 93, any heavier than that, we're just going to make the prep harder and longer for ourselves. You know, we have a timeline set for when we start prep to when the first show is. Like, that timeline needs to be hit. Yeah, we can go aggressive when it needs to be, and we will do that, but there's no point in us putting ourselves in a position, you know, jeopardising losing a little bit of muscle because we have to dig here that little bit more because I was bollocksing so much here, you know. It's just about obviously being smart, and obviously it's experience as well across the last number of years, which I know that I have, and obviously I could be a lot further ahead in where I am right now, but it is what it is, you know. Everything happens for a fucking reason, that it does at the end of the day. That's where we're at right now. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing, and I'll catch up with you at meal 4. What's the story? We're back for meal 4. It's just heating up in the pan. I know this whole video has pretty much been in the kitchen, but that's where all the meals have been eaten, and it is a full day of eating. So we've showered, we're finished for the day pretty much. So meal 4, we're going in with 2 turkey burgers, 100 gram dry wet rice, peas again, peppers, onion, and I just seasoned the turkey burgers with a little bit of garlic as well. We've gone for a trusty. What is it actually called? Is that what it actually is? ZX Cola? Hope you can see it here. Can you? The face track is on here as well, so the camera doesn't want to move. Put that in front of my face. 2 turkey burgers, 100 gram of dry wet rice. We have then, like I was saying already, we've got 3 corn cakes, again, 3 slices of 120 gram total of pineapple. Absolutely beautiful. Salt again on the beetroot. Beetroot as well, if you're having like a meat meal pre-workout, beetroot is very good for blood flow and getting the pump. So these are really quick meals as well, people. I know you're looking at them thinking, geez, you must spend hours making meal by meal. Couple of minutes, like, genuine, couple of minutes. Final meal. We're back on the cream of rice. I don't know if I've shown you that we're back on the cream of rice on one of the videos. We've got the Loyal Trained by JP vanilla here, and I also have banoffee flavour. But I've just been using the vanilla. I kind of prefer just the bland flavour and then spice it up with my ways. I've also gotten a bit of a liking in the evening, the sweetness of this, the sweet and salty popcorn. So we're doing this as well. The ways that I've showed you today, try them out. What I do if I'm trying something new, I'll buy a small tub of it. You can get the 900 gram and you can get the 2 kg tub. It's a little bit more than like if you work it out, like you're better off to get the full tub, but that's what I'll do for next time then when I want it. So this is the final meal. The reason I have cream rice now pre-bed compared to oats pre-bed is it just sits a lot easier. So we're doing 100 gram of cream of rice. We are doing 30 gram of whey to tap our protein off for the rest of the day, 200 gram of frozen fruit, and then to get our fats up to where they need to be as well, then we're doing a little bit of peanut butter. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. A lot of fellas think they know how to make cream of rice. It's lumpy, it's fucking cream of ricey, and it's not done properly. So I might give you a quick idea how to make cream of rice, how to make cream of rice properly. Alright, Danny's back on the videography, so we've got some proper videos. I'll show you how to make cream rice, I'll show you how to make a sludge. Don't ask me again. The one thing I've been getting on Instagram, the only message I get on Instagram is, what's that on top of your oats? What's that on top of your cream of rice? Sludge that. So, get yourself a bowl, boiling water. We're going to have tea as well, so the kettle's already boiled. I'm having 100 gram of cream of rice. I'm going to do about 4 times the amount of water, right? So I'm doing 400 ml. If your appetite is big, like when prep goes along, that'll turn into 500 ml water, 600 ml water, and it'll keep going. Cream of rice is basically ground rice and whatever flavouring you have. I obviously have vanilla. The more you try and go with the flavours, I think the shitter it gets, to be honest with you. So again, per gram you get more carbs from cream rice as well, less protein as well, because there's actually a lot of trace protein in oats that I don't want, but it is what it is. It's there. Grab yourself a spoon. Show them the cream rice there, lad. That's what it's going to look like. It looks like muck. Do you know? It looks like cement before you mix it. So just mix the shit out of that. It will be lumpy for a minute. Did a little bit extra water, but you're going to get that kind of a consistency. Like if you're eating it like that, again, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to bash this into the microwave for about a minute until it goes exactly the way I want, and I'll do that in a second. We'll do the sludge now really quick. Again, mug onto the scales. I need 30 grams of whey. Eventually you'll be able to start doing the water by eye. The whey I wouldn't let. Everyone thinks like a scoop of protein is 30 grams or whatever it needs to be, but it's not. You could have a scoop of protein, it could be 20 grams, you could have a scoop of protein, it could be 50 grams. Do you know what I mean? Just grab your spoon. The reason I've started making my actual sludges, that is a little bit too watery now, but I've made them a little bit watery now as I go, because while I'm making all that other shit, the sludge is actually thickening up. You get more volume because there's more water in it. Same with the cream rice. When I put the frozen fruit in, it's going to harden it up again, so you get more over the whole thing in general. Do you know what I mean? So, right, so Aldi let me down a small bit. There was no frozen cherries, so we're just doing raspberries, blueberries, 200 grams total. And you just throw that on top. And to the fellas, I'd be seeing your stories, you'd be saying, oh, I don't have time to be dressing up meals and making meals look good for Instagram. Like, again, the nicer your meal looks, especially when you're bulking, the nicer your meal looks, the easier it's going to be for you to eat. So, frozen fruit goes in there, that will slowly melt away. Get your sludge done. And then you're just going to pour your sludge all over on top. This is the sweet and salt. Like, to tell you that the house actually does smell like popcorn when you put this in is true. Do you want to taste it actually?
I will in a minute.
We're having peanut butter. This is just normal Aldi peanut butter, smooth peanut butter. To get peanut butter easily on and off the spoon, right? You just have a hot spoon.
I thought you were going to put the peanut butter into your tea for a second.
And then just get your peanut butter. We're doing, that was 24. $25, right? And just send that over. The whole meal there. I usually, like, it's only in my nighttime meal and the eggs earlier that I'm using as like a fat sources. Like, I really don't fuck with fat throughout the day. That is what the meal is looking like. Right, that peanut butter is going to melt in there. And then I'll just show you how much salt, just to give you a little indication. Pink Himalayan salt. Now,
That was 14.
That was 14. It was anywhere between 12 and 14 then.
That's a lot.
Now, it is an acquired taste. You get used to it. Like, I used to hate salt. I used to fear salt. Salt is not the enemy, lad. You just get the cinnamon on there, and that's it for a finish then. It looks like really big, but if that was a bowl of oats, it would be a lot slower for me to digest. That'll go down nice and easy. Like, again, every single meal that I'm eating at the moment is just going down, and it goes down quick. You know, I don't get bloated, I don't feel full off any meal, and it digests well, and I feel good off it, and things are working, so things don't need to change. As I said, we'll try and get away in the morning, show you exactly what we're looking like after that full day of food. The main things we're looking at there across the whole day is just consistency across the week. It's all about me saying that this is what I do today. This is what I need to be doing 7 days across the whole week. Not just 5, not just for the weekdays, but across the whole weekend as well. And we do typically tend to have a Chinese or something on a Friday or Saturday night as well. And that meal that I do have is usually a meal that would feed like 4 or 5. But we'll check in the morning and I'll show you how I'm looking. Bash. I'm fucking broke up this morning.